The holiday season is always a challenging time for Oklahoma's major food banks. Cold weather, children home from school, the desire to provide a Thanksgiving or Christmas meal to those who would not have one otherwise. There's a variety of factors that contribute to an increased demand on the vital services the food banks provide. In this week's in-depth conversation, we look at what they are and how you can help.
Rich, thank you so much. It's the time of year we start thinking about food banks and those holiday meals for those who may not be able to afford all the groceries they need to create one. But it's a year-round need, and we're here to talk about not only the holiday aspect, but all year round with a couple of experts in the field. Together, they cover the whole state. I'd like to introduce them to you now. We have Matt Jostes, who is with the Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma. That's up in Tulsa. And we also have Kathy Neslin, who is with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma, covering 53 counties in the state of Oklahoma. Kathy, that's kind of central and western?
Yes, we cover all of central and western Oklahoma.
All right. Matt, I want to start with you. First of all, is there an increase in need for food during the holidays, or is it just that it becomes more noticeable to the rest of us?
No, there's definitely a need that rises up during the holidays. Feeding America had just released a study earlier in the fall that addressed this, and I think it was about 88% of the food banks nationally were experiencing a 20% rise in demand for services. Why we are also experiencing a drop in donations. I think this year's kind of especially harder with inflation. We have 60% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck, so they're a flat tire, an unexpected bill away from not having grocery money for that month.
Kathy, I think people hear about the food banks in Tulsa and Oklahoma so often. We assume everything's fine. Is everything fine, Kathy?
Well, we're still doing what we've always done, and that is providing food assistance. We have about 1,300 partners that we work with throughout our 53 counties that we serve. We are being impacted, just like every household is being impacted by increased costs for fuel, increased costs for freight. As Matt indicated, food donations are down. That's nationwide. It's not unique to Oklahoma. And so we're having to spend more money to make sure that we have the food inventory that we need to continue our service.
Kathy, what is the need increase during the holiday season as opposed to the rest of the year?
I think you're dealing some with seasonal workers. I think this year we're seeing about a 15 to 20% increase over what we would typically see at this time of year. And again, I would go back to Matt's comments regarding how inflation is impacting households. We are seeing fuel costs go down some, and that's a relief for everyone. But still, if you go, buy a dozen eggs, you're going to be spending $5 now, and that's more than double what it had been just 6 or 10 months ago.
All right, Matt, what are you telling people in your area when you're asking for help to feed those who need that help?
There's the obvious of, monetary donations. They can go to the website and donate. But there's also other ways. You could host a food drive either through your organization or, just in your neighborhood, and your school, your church. Also, you can advocate for us. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to end hunger in Oklahoma, and we have to get buy-in from our government officials to address these issues.
I don't know if each of you knows this number, but I'm going to ask you, about how many pounds of food you give away each year? Matt, we'll start with you.
Yes. So last year we did about 30 million pounds of food. We are wanting to almost double that this year. We are actually in the middle of a campaign project right now where we're expanding our facility. So we're doubling the size of our warehouse and distribution area, as well as our culinary center and our volunteer center. So we're looking at to quadruple that amount over the next 5 years.
Kathy, how many pounds of food have you given away? 53 counties is a lot of the state.
Typically, on average, we distributed at least 50 million pounds of food a year. We saw a spike when we were during the middle of the pandemic, when the USDA was distributing so much food from the food farmers to food program. We spiked at almost 58 million pounds one year, but on average, we're right around 50 million pounds.
So through COVID, have you seen the need increase over the past 2 years or this year, even from the previous year?
Absolutely. We saw when the pandemic hit in 2020, starting in March, April, we started seeing a dramatic increase, upwards of 30%. Many of those individuals had never sought food assistance prior and were new to the food charity world or the food assistance world. So most definitely we've seen it ebbed back as the federal assistance rolled out and really helped to put money in people's bank accounts. We saw the need start to decline a bit, but starting probably February or March of this year, 2022, we started seeing another uptick. Again, the money had been spent. They're back in the situation they were during the pandemic, maybe not making as much money as they did pre-pandemic, childcare needs, all those sort of things rolled into one. And so, yeah, we've started seeing another increase.
All right, Matt, I did want to ask you, you talked about you referenced some other services, a culinary center. What do you provide other services besides just food distribution?
Yeah, so we have our typical food distribution. So that's how we distribute food out through our partner agencies. We have more than 400 through Eastern Oklahoma that we work with. So these would be, here in Tulsa, we have like the Catholic Charities, the Iron Gates, but this all goes through the service areas to different churches and organizations in each county. But we also do a lot of direct service programs. That's where we'd have like drive-through pantries, things of that sort. We offer SNAP assistance to families needing help kind of, navigating the system. And then we also just have our different programs, like our Food for Kids programs, which would include like backpack programs. Matter of today, I just got back from the volunteer center where they're packing backpacks for winter break. So, so most of the kids, I think there's more than half the kids in Oklahoma rely on free or reduced lunches. Well, when they go home for school break, they don't have access to those regular meals. So we pack packages, have ready to eat or easy to prepare meals that they can take with them on winter break.
Yeah, Kathy, you do the same thing, correct?
We do. We kind of mirror each other and those sort of services, especially Food for Kids.
Yeah. Now, people don't think about during the holiday break, those of us who are blessed don't have to think that may be the only meal a child gets through the day. But that's real in Oklahoma. That's a reality for some families.
Unfortunately, Oklahoma is number one and having the highest rate of very low food security for children. So let that sink in. We're number one in the country. We have very low food security for children.
Why?
8.4%. We can dig into the economics of that. The low wages. It's just it's an unfortunate statistic that we own at number one. Unfortunately, organizations like the food banks are doing what we can to help meet that need, and sending additional food home over school breaks is really important. We also work with a number of organizations that have break activities during the week. So we'll provide free meals. So the children that are participating in those during the break time will get meals as well.
Okay. So for everyone listening, the message is, if you can help. This is a very real need, right, Matt?
Absolutely. Especially when you hear the children's statistics. And I think when that was probably one of my most surprising things when I came on here. I knew that Oklahoma had a hunger issue, but when you really start seeing those stats come to life, it really hits home.
It's really heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. So are there still volunteer opportunities available for people to pitch in, whether it's just for this season, and hopefully they'll get hooked and want to help out more throughout the year, but are there those opportunities, Matt?
Yes, so that they can, volunteer at either one of our locations. But I also recommend, go to your local church. They can always use volunteer help during the holiday seasons. And like I mentioned earlier, you can host a food or fun drive, from the comfort of your own computer and really help out with feeding families this winter.
That's wonderful. Kathy, how about with the Regional Food Bank?
You bet. We like to say this time of year, hunger never takes a holiday. So people are hungry 12 months of the year in Oklahoma, unfortunately, but we always encourage, we have great volunteer shifts. We have some evening shifts Saturday shifts.
Hmm.
We encourage people to sign up whenever, but we really see a drop in the number of volunteers that we have starting in January, February, and March. So I would encourage that if you want to extend your holiday cheer and volunteer, that you look at January, February, March. We have those January and February dates available on our website. So you can sign up now to come back in January or February. Again, I agree with Matt, look at your neighborhood pantries. They always could use volunteers as well, or donations of food, or if you're able to, donations of funds.
So yeah, I think there could be a great New Year's resolution for folks. Help out in your community, whether it's at one of the food banks that you two represent or at something in your community that helps your neighbors. I think that's a great idea. Now, if people do want to do a food drive, if they want to do something in person, are those still done anymore? You said online, and I was like, how would I do that online?
Yeah, oh yeah, no. So we still do this. So we can do the fund drives online. If you would like to do a food drive, you can go sign up online, and we can get you a box. You can use your own boxes, or we have boxes here that we can furnish to you. And then if you need help picking them up, you can go online, fill out a form, and we'll come pick up the food when you're done with your food drive.
Okay. When it comes to Christmas, holidays, the food you're giving out, what can someone who comes and gets a box of food from you for their family, let's say a family of 4, what do they get in that box of food for the holiday season?
If you're picking up an emergency food box or a pantry box, it's going to have a variety of what we call shelf-stable food. So it doesn't require any refrigeration, and it's going to be probably shelf-stable milk, canned vegetables, canned meats, canned soups, pasta, canned packages of beans, rice, those sort of things. Now, if you go and shop at our food and resource centers, what we have choice shopping. So it's like they're set up like small grocery stores, and our procurement teams do the best they can during the holidays to try to get kind of holiday themed foods in there. So maybe some hams or some turkeys, if those are available, the seasonal, potatoes and sweet potatoes, those sort of things.
Mm-hmm. Turkeys? Matt, is there a turkey?
I just left the warehouse. We were getting ready to send 200 turkeys out to one of our partner agencies. And actually for Thanksgiving, we distributed 7,000 turkeys throughout Tulsa.
So people aren't coming to your physical brick and mortar locations and getting their box of food. You're distributing it out to areas where that's closer to the folks who need it.
We do have emergency food boxes, and we do have people who come to our, look us up in the phone book or online, don't realize that we are more of a distribution to our partners, but we always have food available here that they can take with them. But then we also connect them with a nearby pantry to where they reside.
All right, as our time is winding down, Matt, I want to come to you and find out if there are any final words that you'd like to offer to let Oklahomans know that whether, if the need is real or what they can do to help. What would you like to say?
Well, like was said earlier, hunger doesn't take a holiday. There's so many ways you can help. Definitely with monetary donations, we can make that dollar go a little bit further than you can with, if you're donating food. An example of that would be, if you went out and bought a tub of peanut butter, it'd be $5. We could take that and buy 3 to 4 tubs of peanut butter for that same amount. So we could always use the donations coming through. We mentioned the food and fun drives during the holidays, get people in that holiday spirit, the giving spirit, get your family and colleagues together, and really just look out for your neighbors. We really need to get rid of the stigma that the food bank's not for everyone. If you need help, seek that help. Hunger hides, that there are colleagues, there are neighbors, there are classmates.
Yeah.
Try your best to recognize those that need help and let them know that, they can go to our website. We have a site there where you can find the closest pantry to your house. You just put in your address.
What is that website?
okfoodbank.org. And you click on the get help, and there's a little find your pantry button there. You click that, stick in your address, and you can find the pantry that's closest to your house.
All right. Kathy, final words from you. We'll let you have the last word.
Okay. I would just echo what Matt was saying. We do also have a pantry finder on our website. That's regionalfoodbank.org. Again, just put your 5-digit zip code in and you find the pantries closest to you. I would say too that, food is foundational. Just playing off what Matt was saying, it is our neighbors. It's the children going to class with your children. It may be the teacher or the custodial worker that's in your children's school. But food is foundational. Everyone deserves to have an access to enough food to live an active life, whether you're a child, whether you're a single parent, whether you're a 2-parent household, providing for children, whether you're a senior living on fixed income. Food is foundational. And that's why both these organizations exist, as we believe in that. And we just appreciate all the support that we get.
And as I just learned, sadly, we are number one in the nation in terms of need. So I want to thank you both for the insight and the perspective that you provided, and the opportunity for all of us to serve one another. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
you.
having me.